Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Cheryl Connor coming to you from the Blue Ridge Mountains outside Asheville, North Carolina. I've just started this new YouTube channel so that I can share my reflections on what's going on in our world, how it's affecting our inner worlds, and how we can be creative together to create our new future. Today, I want to share with you what I would call wisdom from an ancestor. I am currently working on a creation that's about American history, and in particular, the American Revolution. And one of my main characters is a woman, a mom of 5 kids, a woman whose dad, brother, and husband were all Sons of Liberty, or active in trying to promote freedom for the colonists. And she was asking herself this question. As a woman who had somewhat fewer avenues for helping the revolution than her father, brother, and husband, she wanted to find her place. She wanted to be a part of history, an active part of history, because she cared deeply about what was happening to the colonies. Life in the colonies in the 1700s was pretty bucolic. Most people had farms, even if they were gentlemen, even if they had an office or a clerkship or a carpenter. They were farmers because they were subsistence, in part, subsistence from their own farms. But everybody had different skills. But my protagonist really wanted to do something. She was so upset because this bucolic existence was being affected because the Tories were making life difficult. In addition to taxing, they passed these writs of assistance. And these writs of assistance authorized the Tories to come into your home and use your home as a military base. And women were raped and households were, there were many acts of violence on all sides during this time, but it created a time of great uncertainty and fear. And like many of us right now, we have a lot of uncertainty and fear about what's going on in the world. And here she was, her husband was off doing politics and active with the Sons of Liberty and involved in a militia in Charleston. And she was running the farm, which wasn't her favorite thing to do, but she did it anyway. What she was thinking, what could she do? Just like you and I might ask ourselves, what can we do right now to contribute to harmony, to contribute to feelings of community and free expression and democracy? My main character, who I hope you'll meet, Mercy, she wrote poetry. She wrote poetry that circulated among the colonists, satirizing King George. Now, who would think poetry was a way to change the world? But people looked for her poems under her pseudonym. And she wrote plays, which got people excited. And since there were no theaters then, people gathered around dining room tables like mine right there, and they read her plays, and they talked about it. They talked about the tyrannical acts of the king and his henchmen. And she wrote essays. She didn't have to leave her house. She didn't have to pick up a gun. She didn't have to go to Philadelphia with all of her friends to the Constitutional Convention, because she was friends with many of them. she picked up her pen and she used the power of the pen, the power of her voice. If you end up watching the production that I'm writing about her life and those of her friends in the colonies, you will learn some of the amazing impacts she had with her plays, poems, essays, newspaper articles, and ultimately the history of American Revolution. And you don't even know her name, but I'm not going to tell you today. But I bring her up because so many I know feel a little helpless. What can we do right now? Is there a letter you could write? Is there an action you could take? Just one step today. What one little thing could you do today or this week? You may already be taking lots of actions to bring communities together to help those who are suffering as a result of this health crisis and this lockdown, who've lost businesses. You may be doing a million things already. And then thank you if you have. And you may be doing kindnesses just to your neighbors and to your family and keeping up with your family on Zoom. And who knows what it is that you do to support the people you love and your neighbors and your communities and our nation right now. But stay tuned because you're going to learn more of the life of Mercy Otis Warren, there I said it, who used the power of the pen. What's your power right now? What is your superpower? Power of the pen, the power of your voice, the power of your feet? Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week.